it would have been 10 if it wasn't.
Yeah, you and I were here too.
Exactly right, mate. Exactly. I walked too fast for it. iPad cover. That's why you wear a proper hat. Keep going. What's wrong? It's not very sturdy. I'm old up and I'm...
Check, check. New South Wales bring an undefeated record and a perfect defensive record yet to allow a run. Victoria playing their third game of the day, hunting for their first win of the day. It's New South Wales, Victoria, traditional rivals right here on Diamond 2. Eric Ballner, Anthony Weatherston calling the action for you. Weathers at New South Wales look difficult to beat.
They're lights out at the moment. Had the pleasure of speaking to Coach Porter last week, and yeah, they've had a difficult preparation, but the preparation's been good, much better than last season, considering all the aspects that they had to go through with the weather and the timing, player availability, etc. And yeah, they have brought their 100% A grade here.
Stacey McManus will lead things off, but a bit of a different look in this lineup. McManus at 1, Porter at 2. They both missed that last game in a 12-0 win. Then Bree Trim at 3rd, Montana Kearns at 4, Baker at 5, Ladner at 6, Arnott at 7, Miles at 8, Hannah at 9, Rachel Lack getting some rest, as well as Michelle Cox. And same with the new gun in town, Grace Rickson,
Yeah, she had a great tournament last year at 2022, and she's carried that on, and she's doing it in some fairly illustrious company as well. So,
but a fantastic opportunity for Coach Porter and New South Wales to look at some of the depth that they have. New South Wales, remember, they're aiming for this championship. They're trying to figure out what their best 9 is going to be. Some players, you assume the Olympians have cemented their spot, but there's still a couple spots up to grab. Yeah. And with a lot of those players playing today, it's a great opportunity to evaluate how they go.
Absolutely. I mean, Grace Rickson, you know, she was responsible for the first 4 RBIs in that first game and 2 separate hits, including a triple. So did herself no harm in that particular role. But yes, I mean,
if Grace Rickson is getting the day off, does that sometimes mean I've seen kind of what I need to see?
Yeah, sometimes. Maybe. But, I mean, Coach Porter, she's been around for a long time. I mean, New South Wales is a very successful program. I mean, they're the most dominant side in the 21st century. Obviously, since 2000, they've won it 12 times.
Still a long way to go. Stacey McManus knocks one over to short. Beck Schaefer knocks it down, throw a little wild. And Stacey McManus picks up where she left off from a great game earlier in the morning and yesterday. McManus having a great tournament. She's back on first.
Yeah, wow. I mean, Beck Schaefer did a great job there, knocking that ball down on her backhand as the ball goes in that 6-5 hole. Just see here on the Eastern replay, she knocks it down. Good recovery. She throws the ball on the up because she knows the speed of McManus. But I'll tell you who has been super impressive for Victorian Titans is the first base in Kylie Stevens. Just the way there, just the ability to jump up high. And she's been rock solid there at first base.
Stacey Porter already with a home run in this tournament. It came yesterday, and it was a big shot. Defensively, Beals at third base, Rebecca Schaefer at shortstop, Hendy at second, Kylie Steamers at first, Casey Smith, the catcher, another really promising young catcher in this country. Caitlin Caldwell at left field, Paulina Galkina at center field, and Amelia Mercuri. She started to make a name for herself in this tournament over at right field. So it's a good, plucky Victorian team. They've lost a couple one-run games. They're sitting at 1-4.
Yeah,
and or are they sitting 1-3?
1-3.
Yeah, 1-3.
No, it has to be 1-4. Yeah, you're right. So, no, this is the fourth.
This is the fourth.
This is the one.
This is the one. They're 1-3 right now.
1-3 with an option to split the series. I mean, we talked about it earlier today with James about how important this game was for them. So, they've been very unlucky. They've
lost a 1-1 game. You called that earlier. It's just an absolute heartbreaker again for Victoria, just like they did versus WA.
A couple of little things. I mean, you know, base runner leaving early, and it just killed the momentum of the comeback. But, yeah, you're absolutely right as far as they've got a couple of standout players who are having great tournaments. And Coach Riggs, you know, he's coaching the lights out. He's pulling all the levers that he can. They just need a little bit of luck. I think they're going to be around the mark come the end of the week.
They're looking like they're in a bit of a battle for that 4th spot right now. Porter over to short. Can they get 2? They get the lead runner trying to turn 2. Porter's going to get there in time, but a nice play from Beck Schaefer over at shortstop to try to retire to start the double play at least.
Yeah, you can see Beck Schaefer. She has to move over there, move to her right. Good footwork, stays tall. Throw was a little bit low, but Hendy at second, good enough to recover the ball. And
Bree Trim going up against her former teammates.
Yeah.
She was with this Victorian side just 6 months earlier.
Yeah, I mean, what a story she's had, you know, in her journey to get to here. So shows you the depth and the quality. She was a Victorian captain. That shows you how high regard they held her.
Now she's moved over in that last game New South Wales played, lights out in the field. Now she sends a knock over to right field. Good and well played from Amelia Mercuri, who gets the ball in quickly and forces a play at second. That was quick from Mercuri on the catch.
She's been outstanding all tournament. We've been pumping up her tyres because she deserves it. And here's another great play. Goes out to right field. That's a heavy breeze behind her. So that ball's not only swirling, but it's holding up. And you can see her eye on the ball the entire time. Great throw in just to get there and put the pressure on Porter.
Montana Kearns now moves up and bats in the 4 hole. She provided a bit of a spark finally that New South Wales needed. If they needed an area of improvement, it was probably getting those 8-9 batters going. When she was in the 8 hole in that last game, got a couple hits, kept the lineup moving, and New South Wales, you know, their improvement with the bottom of the lineup, instead of winning 7-0 or 9-0, they win 12-0.
Yeah. On the back of
Thanks for coming.
On the back of 19 hits.
Is that good?
That's okay. I'll take it. Good catching there by Casey.
Montana Cairns, just an absolute athlete, a multi-sport player from Wagga Wagga.
Yeah.
Her grandmother watching, 96 years old, cheering her on.
And, you know, New South Wales got such a big contingent of support here in Adelaide.
Yeah, they traveled really, really well.
Yeah. Good
Hit
shot.
up the middle. Schaefer scoops, fires, and that's the way to start it for Victoria.
Good job, Beck Schaefer. That's well fielded. But, yeah, look, I mean, Kearns, you were just talking about, you know, Mum Jane, Dad Justin. They've travelled with the big contingent of five-star supporters. So, lot to like in that early innings there. Good shot by Trim. But Schaefer there, involved in the play early. Good timing there on the footwork for making the play, the lead play.
We didn't really give a lot of love there to Therese Bonner, who was the starting pitcher and she just did a great job. She got a few soft contact ground balls versus the meat of that lineup that New South Wales has rolled out there.
She's pitched really well. She pitched well yesterday as well, and again, she's just a part of a Victorian Titans lineup at the moment that just hasn't had a lot of luck. You know, they've just had a couple of players go against them, but she's pitched very well. She's very, very good friends with the catcher, so expecting those two to know each other inside out. So expecting some good work from them.
Caitlin Laird leading things off. Amelia Marcury batting 2. Kylie Steamers 3. Casey Smith, and she's got a really nice swing. You'll see it when she comes up to bat. Beck Schaefer at 5. Brody Hendy at 6. Caitlin Caldwell at 7. Sarah Beals at 8. And Paulina Galkina rounds out the lineup at 9. New South Wales lineup like this defensively. Bree Trim at 3rd, Stacey McManus at short. That will be probably the go-to as the tournament goes on. Montana Cairns over at 2nd base and Stacey Porter at 1st. That might just be their infield, to be totally honest. And Baker catching, Titsakronis getting the rest in this game. She had 2 home runs earlier. They said, you've done enough. Benched. No, Chantel Ladner in left field. Isabel Hanna, a young star. A pair of young stars up and coming to New South Wales. Hanna at center field and Miles at right field. In the first game, they kind of gave some of their infield a bit of a rest in McManus and Porter, and, you know, Titsakronis didn't catch that game either. In this game, it seems to be the outfield getting a bit of a break. Yeah,
and as you say, I mean, with a team that's got, you know, 7 Olympians in it, but obviously we've talked about the 6 rookies that are in this team, and granted, some of those rookies are genuine superstars, a la, you know, Gabby Plain, etc. But, you know, Coach Porter's taken the great opportunity to reward some of the young youth that's come back. I mean, when you think about the fact that from that team that lost the 2022 final, only 7 of those that team has returned, which is not a lot. You know, that's a 9-player turnover in, you know, between 2 championships 8 months apart.
Kaya Parnaby will be the starting pitcher for New South Wales, and she pitched the opening game of the tournament. We haven't really seen her since, and she pitched 4 innings, allowed 1 hit just to Belle White, the double, a walk also to Belle White. But through the rest of the SA lineup, she faced 10 batters. She got 8 strikeouts. She was unbelievable.
I'm a big fan. I've been looking forward to watching her pitch live, and obviously watched her Olympic stuff and seen some of her stuff overseas. The missus is good friends with an old coach of hers, Sharon O'Mara, who was over in the States watching the earlier game today.
Parnaby played over at Hawaii. And she's got some nasty swing and miss stuff. She's got some heat. She can drop it down there. And had the great pleasure of calling the game with Katie Prest, who was just in awe of how Parnaby moved the ball up, moved the ball down, moved it left, moved it right. And she was just all over the place in the best possible way. It wasn't intentionally all over.
Yeah, the control is just out of this world.
Probably a battle of who the ace is of this New South Wales team. Is it Parnaby or Plain? And who cares is the answer.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, both of them genuine superstars of the sport.
New South Wales yet to allow a run in this tournament. They've put up a 7-0 win, 9-0 win, 7-0 win, and 12-0 win versus the rest of the competition. There hasn't really been anything close. We got excited when it was a 2-0 game versus Western Australia in the afternoon game, as this is slapped over towards foul territory. Amelia Marcury up. It was a 2-0 game. New South Wales was up. It was the bottom of the first inning with 1 out, and WA got a base runner on second, and that was like the oh my god, here we go moment. And then after that, it was complete surge ahead from New South Wales again.
Yeah. I mean, playing Queensland earlier today, I mean, this is New South Wales' tough day. I mean, 2 games yesterday. This is game 3 for them today. So it's you know, a triple header in any event is a big deal, and you know, they're having to play Queensland, you know, obviously arch rivals, and then they got WA in the middle of the day, who have been, you know, the surprise packet of the tournament, you know, in the fact that they've already picked up a couple of wins and are just one of those real aggressive pushing teams. And now they get Victoria desperate, who are going to be desperate to win this game. So they're a professional organisation, there's no doubting that.
You saw Victoria play a game. Who was Victoria against earlier today? Was it Queensland?
So this morning it was New South Wales, Queensland. Victoria's earlier game today was against Queensland. Yes, it was their double.
Queensland finishing their first round in the minor rounds with a 3-2 record, just losses to SA and New South Wales.
Yeah, and I think Coach Jenkins would basically pass mark that. You know, obviously you'd prefer 4-1, but I think the more important thing, not 2 and 3. You know, because you know, South Australia had an interesting start to the tournament. You know, they're starting to find their groove. They've got WA on the back of a triple header tonight, so that'll be a big game. But as this tournament goes on, it's only 4 or 5 days, but that managing that pitching staff is going to be a real test. And the more at-bats you see, the better your hitting's going to get. So
only 2 more games before everybody's played each other once, and that's in this game included, and then SA and WA later tonight. WA at 2-2, SA at 3-1. There is another game that will happen as well, but that's kind of the start of the second go of games. And Victoria sitting at 1 win and 3 losses, although 2 of those losses were by 1 run that came down to the final moment. We literally could be sitting here saying Victoria is 3-1.
Yeah, absolutely we could. Couple of calls one way or the other.
And even last night versus SA, I know SA looked like a lopsided win on paper, but Victoria had bases loaded on multiple occasions earlier.
3-3 at one stage.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Mercury doing a great job here. So obviously of the leadoff goes down on a couple of pitches, but Mercury fighting super hard, lefty v lefty.
The elements certainly a factor down here. It is super breezy down here. It's been gusty and it only seemed to have picked up in pace today.
Yeah, and what we've seen today is hitters that, because the wind's coming at them and it's behind the pitcher, it's like they've swung harder. And one thing that Mercury's done a great job of, she's using the pace of the pitches and she's concentrating on the contact point, and that's evidenced by the fact that she's fouled off 5 times so far in this at-bat.
Great battle between Amelia Mercury and Kaya Parnaby. And Parnaby will win the battle, but a win is a tough word. It's not really a loss for Amelia Mercury. She saw a lot of pitches, fouled a bunch away, and just got beat by one of the best. Yeah,
one of the best in the world. And, you know, you got, I mean, Coach Riggs, he'd have to take some solace out of that. That's a fighting at-bat. That's Mercury set the bar for her team in regards to what's going to be required.
Kylie Steamers, she just seems to keep getting more consistent, and that was kind of the word that Coach Rigg used, looking for Kylie Steamers, is just that consistency in the field. Certainly she's been that. Well,
she's such a great athlete. I mean, strong and fast and, you know, super athletic. She's a great inside-out hitter. She's got great hands, and she hits the right side of the diamond super well. So against the left-handed here, she can clear her hands.
It's just when Parnaby takes that little bit extra off.
It's when she puts it on, just that first pitch she threw today, like that was just an absolute genuine rocket. Crazy.
And she's just hitting that outside edge.
And the thing we put into context here, you know, is Maddie Baker, who's obviously only 20 years old, super young talent, first open, so she's a rookie.
College player, though.
College player, but wouldn't have spent a lot of time catching somebody at this level, at this standard. And, you know, she was one of the last players to return. Only got into country last Tuesday. So she's only been back in Australia a week. And she only had her first training session with the team on Thursday. So, you know, and here you are in a national championship game too, and you've got one of the world's best in the circle.
Dribbled, and this could be a difficult one to play. Scooped up by Parnaby, and she just holds on, not wanting to inflict any more damage. It's going to go down as an infield hit. and that is that's almost the closest thing to anyone's got a hit off of Parnaby this season. It was just because it got nubbed in front of her.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So,
but a base runner for Victoria, and Casey Smith, a young player. A lot of this Victorian team is a young team, part of the cultural and generational team, and like we said, Titans probably hard done by to be 1-3 right now.
Yeah, oldest pitcher in their lineup is 24. So they are a team that's, rebuilding. They're only second in the actual Gilley Shield's history to New South Wales, behind them on 22 titles. So the dominant era of, Eddabone and Titcombe. Casey Smith, though, just a huge fan. Great kid, loves their softball, just great person all around, but works real hard. Plays women's and men's over in Waverley in the Open One system, so
Swing and a miss, but again, just a different proposition facing Parnaby.
yeah, it's a level, and then there's another level beyond that. It's
Parnaby looking to get a strikeout to end the inning, and that's exactly what she does. So she strikes out the side. It's now 11 strikeouts for Parnaby's tournament so far. She's just pitched her 5th inning of work.
Yeah, just and here you see on the Eastern replay. I mean, if you get an opportunity, it's rare that you're going to be able to drive down to West Beach and watch a couple of the world's elite players at this sport do their work. And look, it's only day 2. You got Wednesday, you got Thursday. I would suggest that they're going to be in the finals on Friday, New South Wales. So if you've got some time Friday, they've been super accommodating with people that have wanted photos and autographs, and I've been really impressed with the way that the Five Stars have gone about it.
I mean, a win here for New South Wales makes it virtually impossible for them to miss out on the last day. They would move to 5-0. Victoria would drop to 1-4. It'd be a 4-game lead with 5 games to go. No one's going to catch New South Wales on the run roll. They're just not going to concede that many runs. It's almost impossible for that to happen. So a win here for New South Wales puts them 1 win away from locking up a finals berth. That'll happen as early as tonight, to be totally honest, with the way the games are played. But
and the thing is, they're looking to make sure that their first job here is to be honest, is to finish top 2.
Yeah.
Because that buys you the right to play, to go straight in. And the important part of that in this type of tournament championship format, that Friday morning, it's the early game. You're straight up, and the ability to be able to rest in between those games is mammoth.
Whereas if you lose, you have to play 6 hours straight of softball, and you have to win the rest of the way.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're going to get a team that's coming off the back of having won an elimination to get to you. So Maddie Baker gets to see her first live at bat, and she's again, we talk about the big family contingent of Five-Star supporters that have come over. So Olivia and Jeff, mum and dad, are here. Her sister Georgia is here as well, and her partner Hayley as well. So great support for the Five-Stars here in Adelaide.
Yeah, the grandstands are packed anytime they're playing around the park. You can probably see a couple shots on your screen, but a great way to go for a little holiday. Get to SA, go see the Fire Stars play some softball, and they're a good unit to do it too. A good chat with Stacey McManus's mom earlier today.
Oh, yeah, yep.
Another woman that loves her softball.
Yeah, absolutely. No, they're a tight unit, so.
And they've won a lot, this New South Wales squad, and like you said, 6 rookies, so they're sort of blooding the next generation. Baker over towards third. It was caught well by Beal. She picks it up, and they couldn't quite get there for Steamers. Ball slips away, and that kind of sums up the way it's kind of been for Victoria a little bit. Just so close to making a difficult play, and just that little bit of a bobble, and now a runner's on second.
Yeah, and that's the pressure at the Nationals that happens at the Gilley Shield. So she does a good job of knocking the ball down, which was a hard shot. But the problem was, you can see she's basically standing with her shoulders square. She wasn't able to generate any real great pace on the throw, and she was rushed by the speed of Baker. Steamers, of course, doing her best to make the infield small.
Brings up Chantal Ladner.
And this is the thing about Ladner and Rickson. Like last year, they carried this team as far as the nucleus was built around them, and they're both young players, you know. And here they've got that luxury of coming in the lineup and being part of a team environment.
Going to lay down a bunt, trying to advance the run into third, and the throw is wayward. That's going to cost them a run. So New South Wales, a team that you don't want to give any free passes to. Victoria just gave away 2.
Yeah, that's the one thing against when you're playing a quality opposition, is that you just can't give them anything. And unfortunately, Ladner puts them under pressure. Bonner, of course, gets down, fields the ball well, but again, rushed by the pace. She had no choice but to get it out quickly, and the throw goes wild, and Steamers had no chance to recover that, unfortunately. So when you play teams at this level, it's really about playing your best ball, and your best ball has to be error-free. And that's just what the pressure does when you're playing against these types of players. So
now there's a runner on second. So Victoria, just going to have a quick word. It's certainly a team that you don't want to let slip away, because runs are going to be hard to come by off Kaya Parnaby.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, engineering one is might take you 7 innings the way that she throws. So, but look, the one thing that we saw in Victoria so far, with the adversity that they've faced in even just 2 days of the tournament, they've kept fighting. So they'll brush this off, they'll tune back in, and get on the job at hand here.
I fancy them for their first chance. I mean, if they can just getting runners in scoring position has been difficult versus New South Wales. I just want to see this team under a bit of pressure.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, you know, the other person that wants to see them under some pressure? Coach Porter. She wants to have a look and see what, you know, when the whips are cracking Friday, who's going to be where. But everything matters. Everything's important. So
Riley Arnott, another young talent, 20 years old. It's tough to get this New South Wales team together, because so many of their players play around the world. But not only just that, they play around the state, and Arnott is one of those, and she's going to knock one over towards short. It's booted a little bit by Schaefer, who has to go all the way into foul territory. And it's just sort of an if, and, and but inning right now for Victoria, and it's a split 1-3 position for New South Wales.
Just noticed, I believe, that Rachel Lack is the bat girl for New South Wales.
Handy bat girl.
Never thought I'd see that in my lifetime. Yeah, I mean, Beck Schaefer, you see here on the Eastern replay, that has to work super hard. Important as the ball spilt, she recovered and chased it down. Good back up in the outfield at left as well, coming in to help her out. So Titans having to work real hard here.
Alyssa Miles up to bat. We're in this strain right now of, you know, Arnott. She's not a rookie, it's her second-year players, but Miles, Hannah, there's a few players here that are getting their first opportunity at this level. This flared up into foul territory.
Yep, so Mum Julianne, Dad was, Uncle Sean, and Kay Fanar.
Riley Arnott, yeah.
Pronounce that right. They're here supporting her in the stands today. And she's got a big family at home as well. Partner Hayden, stepdad.
Riley Arnott, just 20 years old and standing on first base right now. She's starting to, you can tell KP's that one of the players she's getting a good look at. She's been put in a lot of position.
Well, that's the type of roles that she's playing. I mean, she's only 20. So stepdad Dimmy and sisters Courtney and Lauren as well back home, watching probably on the tube right now, watching her play.
Alyssa Miles swings at one. It's off into right field. Charging onto it is Mercuri, and the wind just swirls that around and knocks it foul, so it'll just go down as a strike.
Yeah, it's so difficult on this diamond. The longer the day goes, that breeze off the beach just picks up, and it can be a difficult place to play.
Isabel Hannah standing on deck. Hard hit shot off to right field. Alyssa Miles with a base hit and her first RBI, I believe, of the tournament. And it's a 2-0 lead for New South Wales.
Yeah, that's great batting. Just saw the pitch, just went with it outside. didn't overhit it, just found the space, and just went with right into the teeth of that breeze too. You know, she just couldn't have put that into a better spot. Mercury even fielding shallow, there was no chance with the runner at 3.
Isabel Hanna. What's crazy is what if New South Wales had people like Tarney stepped out here?
Well, I went through the list of players that came out, and yeah, it's crazy.
So Isabel Hanna.
Sue and Steve, mum and dad, are here tonight watching the daughter play. Sister Paige. So
family affair for the fire starters.
yeah, so Hannah went over and played a season at Pensacola State, you know, Georgia Hood territory for us in South Australia. So she's come back. She's doing some work, saving some money, and wants to do some traveling, which is all important things.
If you're looking, though, from a coaching perspective of a player and looking for those little things to get you maybe into that starting 9 on the final day, Hannah in the second game today, the last one that they played, it was a 12-0 scoreline. The game was all but over. There was a little nub shot that sort of landed between the pitcher and second base, and Hannah was playing at second base, and Isabel Hanna jolted over, dove down, laid out, and made a fantastic highlight reel diving catch, when you wouldn't blame anybody for just saying, we'll just let this roll over here, let's not sacrifice the body. And then Chantel Ladner did that the next play in left field.
You know, I find it amazing when you watch these cricketers and the ball gets hit to the boundary for 4, and the amount of times these cricketers, you see the guys, they just back out and they just let, it's only 4 runs, I'll just let it go. And these softballs are just literally throwing themselves right around the place. Crazy. Shows the commitment, shows the skill of the female talent that we've got in this country. And 2028 can't come fast enough for the Aussie spirit, and know that much.
Such a shame there's no Olympics softball in 2024.
Yeah, but that's why these nationals, that's why the 23s, you know, all important. Still got Worlds next year as well, so.
Swing and a miss, so Therese Bonner with her first strikeout of the day.
Yeah, that's great work by Bonner and Smith there. That's they had to work hard there, but they got their result. Good mix by Casey. Well executed by Bonner. It's
Stacey McManus back at the top of the lineup, led off the game with a single. Her second at bat of the game. New South Wales, not a lot of innings where they haven't scored runs.
Yeah, I mean, it's wind continues to pick up.
It is a windy one down here.
It is.
Bring your jumpers if you're planning to come down tonight. If you're planning to watch SA play in the night game today, you're going to want to rug the heck up.
Yeah. Diamond 1 thankfully gets a little bit of protection from the grandstands, and but out here on Diamond 2,
you're out in the elements.
No, you know you've earned your points.
McManus, hard hit shot, gets through a couple defenders, runners being held up. Bases will be loaded.
I was about to say, look what just happened.
Well, Rachel Lack. This is an interesting one. So here we go.
Did you reckon Porter threw the bat back deliberately that hard? Or it was a great shot by McManus here. She goes just into the inside as...
How old is Therese Bonner out there?
She's only 22, so she's a very young pitcher. So
and here she is, bases loaded versus one of the greatest softball players from any country, anytime, anywhere.
In the sports history. Yeah, she is legit. I'll tell you what though, it's a difficult place to hit a home run here.
Yeah, it's wind gusting. It's probably those 40K gusts coming right off the water, and it's steady too. It's not just, you know, it gusts a bit harder at other times. I get that.
And there's no protection here in the sense too, you know, they can't pitch around her. You got bases loaded. They're going to have to find a way to attack.
And Porter just puts the ball hard on the deck. A professional at bat cashes in 2 runs, and New South Wales have got...
Porter's over. Oh, here we go. Seamers came off and Porter overran, and McManus had stopped at second, and Porter had caught her. And so Porter started going back to first, and then McManus went to third, and because of the corresponding throw, they picked up an extra one. With a bit to unpack here on the Eastern replay. Quality at bat, out to left field. Good throw coming in fast. And obviously here you see the play. So McManus is at 2 as we go to the wider angle. Porter's gone back to first.
So it's going to go down probably as a 2 RBI single for Porter, and then scoring on somewhat of an error somewhere down the line. But it's a 5-run inning and counting right now for New South Wales. Porter at second. She just continues her tremendous tournament, Stacey Porter. And New South Wales have found a big inning in every game that they play. Yeah. It seems to be a matter of when, not if, and they've been doing it again. Well,
the thing is, when you watch the sport at this level, I mean, there's an expectation. There's a gasp when she's at the plate. She's got bases loaded. They're away from home. You're at a national championship, and she has put the ball perfectly between 2 fielders to score 2 runs as she's gone through the count to find a pitch. That's why people call her the GOAT, because that's elite. That is elite to be able to do that.
It's so interesting you mentioned that, and Caitlin Laird has come into pitch, by the way, but I spend a lot of time with the Adelaide Giants. People that follow me will know that as well, but the Giants are the best hitting team in the ABL right now, and they're led by a guy named Quincy Lattimore, who's hit 250 home runs around the world. But there's a great podcast that I did with him, and if you're a hitter in baseball or softball and you want to listen to that, listen to what Quincy says about your approach when you're hitting. It's knowing the situation that you're in, and he's had a great series where one series did exactly what Porter did right there. The situation didn't call for a home run. It'd be easy to swing for it, but all you had to do is hit the ball hard, hit the ball low, and on the ground is absolutely fine as long as it is smoked into the ground and make the defenders make a play. It's having that hitting awareness that makes you that next level hitter and how you can apply your swing.
100%. That is spot on. And if you do get a chance to listen to that podcast, do check it out. It is worth the listen. Schaefer hadn't even turned. Like, she had literally opened her shoulders. She hadn't even stepped over towards the ball, and it was past her. That's how hard Porter hit that ball, and that's the craziness of it. You've got to remember, at softball, we're closer to the plate than the baseballers, so, it is reflex. And, the expectation is, Stacey Porter's at the plate. Great, we're going to see her have a big hit. But yet, she has reined it back in, team first at bat. And when your GOAT's doing the team first at bat, sets the bar real high for standards.
Bree Trim now up to bat. That one takes a weird bounce off the catcher. It'll be a drop third strike. They do get the run. Porter advances to third. Yeah, and this is the ninth batter coming up. And you're right, Weathers, it's totally changes game to game, because in the first game, the wind, or the game earlier today, their second game today, the wind was blowing kind of to center left field, and the situation dictated tee it high, let it fly, and that's exactly what they did. Michelle Cox drove one off the top of the wall. Titsa Cronus hit 2 home runs. Bree Trim had a double off the wall. You could see it was those big loopy swings. They were trying to get the ball in the air because they knew, hey, if you put it in the air, you hit the ball hard, it's going to go. Here, it's let's keep it low and make it funky. Yeah,
well, Trim's drive out to right field on her first at bat,
Montana Karen's up to bat right now, 5-0. All runs scored in this inning.
So Ladner's going to put an extra yard on pace behind Therese Bonner. And, Coach Riggs, obviously all of the Victorian pitchers, you would imagine, are going to be on short leashes here, in the sense that you just can't expose your pitching staff to the New South Wales lineup multiple times without expecting that there's going to be some trouble.
Over towards third, scooped up by Beals. Across the diamond, they get the out, but the damage done. Every batter comes up to plate in that inning for New South Wales. Porter clears them with her hit, but a nice hit to Alyssa Mile as well. But really the story, probably defense there for Victoria. It didn't need to happen like this.
No, when you drive down to the game and you know that you're going to have to put your best game out just to match them. But look, the exciting thing is now here we get to continue to see one of the world's best pitched live. I mean, to be blunt, I still can't believe I'm sitting about 70 feet away just watching it. It's just awesome watching her pitch. She's just got the ability to turn the wick up on it, and it looks effortless. but the level of control, it's amazing. So, but it's Tuesday, so
long way to go in this tournament, my friend. But New South Wales are, I mean, we had this discussion in the last broadcast. I mean, they were kind of downplaying it, saying SA are the team to beat, and they were right. Like, SA is the defending champion. They are the ones, but you can't go 7-0, 9-0, 7-0, 12-0, 5-0 and counting in the first round, and then after that say, we're no longer not the favorites.
Yeah, look, and I understand where Coach Porter's coming from. I mean, like, you know, South Australia are the national champions. So,
and they are. South Australia are the national champions.
And she said they're the best team in the country right now. But this championship is obviously their opportunity to, you know, change that. And I went back and looked at the notes from 2022. And, you know, she did mention back at 2022 that the expectation was there were going to be a lot of players from that team that weren't going to be here, because they knew that this was what was going to happen. And so, I mean, it shows how far forward thinking Coach Porter is in regards to what they're doing. So, just got a quick correction. Just want to shout out Jean Taylor. Thank you so much for the feedback there. Jean's just let me know that, you know, Maddie Baker has had some experience catching kaya. Obviously, they come from the same association at North Shore District, and they play in the same championships. Can you imagine facing Kaya Parnaby in the state championship?
No, I don't want to.
So, yeah, thanks, Jean, for the pick up there.
No, that's awesome feedback. We love to know more about all these athletes and their stories. We hope you're enjoying the coverage and learning more about some maybe players on other teams that you haven't heard their stories before. So keep those comments coming, especially about that player background, who these women are, what they do. Love to see their support networks out there in the comments. This is a tournament for everybody, so keep those things coming.
Yeah, absolutely. Good piece of the ball there by Beck Schaefer, the shortstop for the Titans. Just fouled it off down the right side. Good hands. Gets challenged across the letters and discipline at bat, but I wish we had the speed gun. I'm going to have to see if we can have a chat to the Aussie selectors and see if we can find out what those speeds are, because
I mean, we were wishing we had things like exit velocities on some of those hits that New South Wales had in the last game, because genuinely they were crazy.
Look at that. So ball just breaking up over the letters on the uniform. Schaefer does well, disciplined to stay off of it. So what does she do in the next pitch? She goes fast, breaks the pitch down at the knees. Nothing she can do about it. Just outstanding pitching.
4 strikeouts now here with 1 out in the bottom of the second. You do the math for Kaya Parnaby. Brody Hendy up to bat.
Second base player. So one of the young players. So,
or Brooke Hendy, I think it is.
Brooke Hendy, yeah.
Brooke Hendy, sorry about that. Sorry to Brooke.
Plays a bunch of different roles within the team, so only young, again, only 21.
And Victoria really have done such a nice job of retooling this program to get them competitive. They've been competitive in every game that they've played.
Well, yeah, I mean, this would be the biggest deficit that they would have seen so far in the tournament, so
they fought back versus SA pretty well. They went down 3-0 early in that one.
Yeah, I mean, and look, you know, as I said, that game 3-3, and then, you know, then it sort of unwound late. But to be chasing this type of deficit early, you know, changes the mentality. I mean, when you're down 5-0, you know, your short game doesn't exist because, you know, you've got too many runs to catch back up. But when you're facing this type of quality pitching, it's
hit up the middle, and
there you go.
It will be a base hit right up the middle. Hendy getting the job done, gets a knock off Parnaby, and now with 1 out, there's a runner on. Let's see if Caitlin Caldwell can help bring her around.
Yeah, that's a great piece of the ball. And I think the real important thing that hopefully some of the other Titan hitters see what she's done there. She's just she hasn't overextended her swing. She's just kept it compact, seeing where the pitch is, and she's just taken her hand to the ball. She hasn't tried to overhit it, and that's allowed her to put the ball into space. That's great batting.
Caitlin Caldwell up to bat. She's from New South Wales that has moved to Victoria, so she gets to go against her state here.
Caitlin, she prefers Kate. So
Kate Caldwell.
Yep, that's it. Spot on. And it's Brody Hendy, not Brooke. So
I was right the first time.
you were.
Don't doubt myself. Well, Brody Hendy is standing on first base, and what a great job she did to get a hit off Barnaby.
And this is good. This is where we, want to see the Five Stars under pressure here. Now you can see the way that their infield immediately starts communicating, and setting up.
Kate Caldwell just takes a pitch. Late 20s. Couple strikes on her.
Yep, she's a rookie veteran.
Caldwell puts the ball in play. It's going to be a difficult one to field. Barnaby can't quite grab it. And for the first time in at least the games that I've called with New South Wales, there's 2 runners on.
Wow. Well, we said the Titans were going to fight. So that's a difficult play for Barnaby. You can see that she's running away from the ball, basically. And as she's running away from the ball, trying to meet it with the angle, Glove's gone down to pick it up, and she hasn't been able to grip it. But, yeah, here we go. Opportunity. One out.
You called the first New South game as Sarah Beals comes up to plate. The first New South game today. Was there 2 runners on at any point during that game?
I don't remember. I do know that I do want to put a blanket apology out to anybody that did tune into that game.
I thought I tuned into that game.
I was by myself. I didn't know what I was just trying to play it very straight down the line. So
oh, Weathers, I think you'll find that you're selling yourself short. People will let you know in the comments that they liked it.
But I do apologise. It might have come across a touch boring.
Sarah Beals swings through a pitch, but runner on first, runner on second, 2 runners on versus New South Wales. Can this be the moment for Sarah Beals? Can she be the one responsible for adding the first run against New South Wales? She's back, a catcher, third base.
Yeah.
Just had a child.
Yeah, little Bowie. So, what a great name. And it's funny too, you've got your own coach sitting in there at the moment thinking, for New South Wales, this is great. This is what I wanted to see. I wanted to see a little bit of adversity. I wanted to see some pressure, and I want to see how we go. And then, Barnaby just comes back with a huge strikeout.
Well, Paulina Galkina, just a great athlete. Tell you what, she's got some great speed down the line, so you got to be careful even with that infield hit. If the ball's put in play, it'll be danger territory and pressure on this New South Wales infield, and Galkina swings through the first one. That's exactly what she's trying to do.
Well, when you say she's got some speed, she's a former Ukrainian track international representative. I mean, it's only 60 feet, but you've got to put bat on ball first, and that's no easy task here.
Barnaby's got 5 strikeouts. All of her outs have been strikeouts. This one put in the air. It drops down and dropped into play. And now the bases are loaded. Maddie Baker made a play on it. It was in the glove and out of the glove. And now, top of the lineup, Caitlin Laird, who is also now the pitcher in this game, is going to come up to bat. And the bases are loaded, and this game can get very tight quickly.
That's there. Wow. This so far, this innings sums up how the Victorian Titans are gone. It's just not fallen their way. So, big test here.
Caitlin Laird, bases loaded, swings through the first pitch. You just have to take advantage of these opportunities.
Yeah. Versus
New South Wales, but very indicative of this Victorian spirit. They keep coming back at you.
Yeah, they're a team of fighters.
Laird versus Barnaby.
Oh.
Puts the ball almost in play. It's just knocked foul.
That first pitch, she knows that they're going to want to attack her early in the count because they're not going to want to fall behind. So Laird's ready to go, green light, pitch 1. So it's an outside ball, breaks at the plate, and Laird swings over it. Pitch 2 is an absolute missile in on the hands, and she jams there. Now she's in front of the count. Wouldn't expect to see anything close now.
And I don't think Laird was expecting anything close, and Parnaby instead buckles her inside. That is just class from Kaya Parnaby. A 3-pitch strikeout. What do you even do in Caitlin Laird's scenario?
So the reason that I sound like that is that sitting side on, it's hard to sort of tell you what that looks like, but the release of that pitch and as it arrives at the plate, that happens so quickly. It's, yeah, wow, that's... Well, there they go. They got their first little test.
Yeah, so they'll be back with Baker at the start of the lineup.
But, you know, Coach Riggs, he's going to take something out of that. Hey, listen, you know, you look at our lineup, we've sent a couple of 20-year-olds up to the plate. And, you know, Brodie Hendy, she's hit a single off of Kai Parnaby. You know, and led the way. McCurry's at bat, I think, was the standard setter for the Titans. In, you know, the fact that she just fought and fought. She was ironically the on-deck hitter in that situation. That would have been a real contest here. So Baker gets a right of reply here from that last play, and she gets to lead us off here.
Well, Maddie Baker. This is exactly the point in the lineup where their 5-run inning started. But New South Wales under the most defensive pressure we've seen so far, and it was Kaya Parnaby who got them out of the jam. 6 strikeouts through her first 2 innings. Now Caitlin Laird, who's just growing in confidence sort of in front of her eyes over the last few weeks, to be honest.
Yeah. So, I mean, they had their preparation, the Five Stars, when they got here. So they did a couple of things different. When they got in, they flew in, you know, Sunday afternoon as they arrived for the championship. And normally you would, you know, probably traditionally have a training session before you start on the day but I mean, obviously it's New Year's Day. So, you know, the players, you know, probably have celebrated bringing the new year in. And as they've arrived, it was the first time that the team had been fully assembled. You know, everybody actually here. Because obviously, you know, Stacey Porter's been up in Brisbane. And so the first thing that they did when they got here was they had a team ceremony, a welcome to country, which was, you know, really respectful.
Pitch on the outside edge, a good piece of pitching from Caitlin Laird, gets Baker down on strikes.
And so they've had that, you know, very important ceremony. And then instead of training, you know, for that day, they've actually gone out and had a team dinner where they've actually had the family, this big crew, the big people that have come and followed them. And they've had a team dinner with the families, and they've done their, you know, their uniform presentations and their announcements within the team, and they've had all the family there. So it's a really tight, it's a tight group. You can see them around the ballpark, and it's just a great community.
Good team building from the New South Wales staff. Chantel Ladner up to bat. She's pitched a lot already this tournament. She had a couple big hits in the 12-0 win over WA earlier today.
So, you know, Coach Porter finding new, you know, different ways to bring this team together, you know, with a big task at hand.
I love to see that stuff.
Yeah. So, you know, we talk about it so often. Every time we have one of our, you know, telecasts here, you know, we're fortunate enough to be on beautiful Ghana land here. And so, love the respect shown by the Five Stars.
Well, they've certainly played well here so far. Hard to find too many flaws in this New South Wales team in their first go-around. Ladner works a walk.
Going from a strikeout to a walk. Sends up Rolly Arnott to the plate.
Arnott, you can tell, just someone that thinks so highly of. Another one of those players that's not from, I mean, New South Wales, even Sydney's a big place. It's hard to assemble everybody in one spot at one time. Just the geography of the place and the travel, the traffic, everything about it, let alone people that live in the Central Coast or in country areas.
Yeah, and we've talked about Rickson last year, the fact that we knew that she was travelling multiple hours to get to training. But, Coach Porter, she's kept in contact with all of the squad around the world via Zoom and Messenger.
Arnott flares one foul.
So they've done a really big job of making sure that they've, through their 3-month, I suppose, preparation process to this point, they've been keeping in close contact. They've had some buddy systems involved in regards to just making sure that, everybody's connected and feels a part of it. It's a great buy-in, and, it's pretty evident in the first 2 days of this tournament. We've seen some pretty strong results. I mean, they're elite players, but, you can just see the way that they've bonded. It's a super impressive start.
Arnott along the ground, over towards third, and made across the play. Beals made it.
Good change of pace by Caitlin Laird there. Just took a bit off of it. Great call by the Titans catcher, Casey Smith.
Melissa Miles already with a hit. She had that nice piece of hitting. She worked a few counts in her first at-bat, sent that ball over towards right field. And now a runner in scoring position. New South Wales looking to add to the lead. Ball down in the dirt. Victoria showed they can load the bases if they can get another opportunity and get a hold here. Ball knocked up in the air. This swirling, so it's going to be difficult to play, but moving back on it at second is Brody Hendy, and the side is retired. So some really nice pitching here from Caitlin Laird, just continuing to grow in confidence.
Absolutely, and some good defense to back her up too. That's a great catch by Brody Hendy. That's difficult. She's going back into the wind, so the ball is coming up at her, and then it's going away from her towards the end of it. So, that's a really good piece of fielding there. So that's what the Titans are going to need to do. Their field's going to need to be lights out behind the pitching. Casey Smith doing a great job behind the plate, trying to keep the mix there. You saw that little change of pace that engineered the ground out the pitch prior. So Titans, pushing hard.
Fantastic day down here.
So I just saw, just going through some of the comments that we've got here, just some people some feedback, etc., and being a part of it. Lots of support for both teams here, lots of Victorian support, a lot of New South Wales support. So
are they enjoying the coverage, we hope?
Seems to be. One of them had a great question here, wants to know how old Kai Parnaby is. 32 is the scout report that I've got. So she's just said there, second guess putting her hands up for the over 35 state championships. So great shout out. Thanks for tuning in, Nicole.
Sorry, I was paused. I was getting my Buffalo Bills news. I'll give you why that was significant. I'm a big Bills fan. I love my football, the Buffalo Bills. They were supposed to play today versus the Cincinnati Bengals.
Yeah.
Spot for Division I, but one of the Bills players suffered a cardiac arrest on the field during the game. His heartbeat stopped after he made a tackle, was standing up, not completely down. He was dead on the field for a short time. They performed CPR, cardiac arrest, revived him, got him to the hospital where right now he's in critical condition, the tube down his throat. It was a scary, scary scene in the NFL, and a nice reminder that sport sometimes might feel like everything isn't always everything with moments like that.
Absolutely.
The NFL ended up saying to the two teams, you've got 5 minutes to get ready and go back out on the field and finish the game. And both the teams looked at the NFL and said, get stuffed. And they walked off the field. And the game is under postponement right now. So I just got a couple text messages saying with the update on him and that he's alive, basically, which is great to hear.
Wow.
That's my sporting news. If you see me around the field, go talk football with me. I'm a diehard Bills fan, diehard Jays fan, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, well, you can see it. You can.
So that was why I was paused there. And everybody at home.
You can definitely tell by his accent that there's some American sports. Well, of course, being a New England Patriots fan, so. We're in a little bit of a down phase with Mac Jones behind the
but just, yeah.
Behind the line. But anyway.
Truly one of those moments, though, that reminds you that there's just so much more. So tell your mates you love them, and in that, yeah. That's...
Yeah, take nothing for granted. Absolutely. McCurry, another fighting at bat. Parnaby, though, gets her again. 7
outs and 7 strikeouts for Kaya Parnaby.
Yeah, just got her again away. So, but yeah, that is shocking news. And look, I mean, I think it's a great opportunity, just, you know, especially as we've just brought the new year in, to make sure that you know, check in with your family and friends, make sure everybody's okay. I know that one thing that I haven't done is that I haven't rung my mum and dad since New Year's Eve, so that's a great call out to Eric. It's the first thing I'm going to do as soon as this game's finished. So at the moment, though, enjoying the softball here.
Kylie Steamer, she's got a hit in the game, but it was one of the weirdest hits you'll see. She kind of came down over top of it, and it just dribbled 2 feet in front of her. She got down the line. New South Wales up 5. They scored all their 5s in the second. A couple key hits in there, but really it was Porter that cleared the bases when she came up to bat with them loaded, but a couple errors set them up. And New South Wales, you give them an inch and they take 7 miles. And now Steamers with a good shot over towards right field, maybe on another day on another field that has some more distance, but goes down as a fly out. Seeing the ball okay, though.
Yeah. Yes. Well, that's what I was saying before. I said that's one of the things that Steamers does so well. She hits the right side of the diamond beautifully, and she's just so powerful. But again, that strong wind's done a good job of just pulling that ball up.
Casey Smith up to bat. Smith struck out. That's the first out of the game that isn't a strikeout for New South Wales, or for New South Wales versus Victoria. So we're up now to 8 outs in the game and 7 strikeouts for Kaya Parnaby. And I would imagine that Parnaby, I mean, she's pitching well now. This might be the last inning she sees, maybe one more. You figure they'll want to just get Gabby playing in the game so she continues just that string of pitching, at least a couple innings here today.
Good cut by Casey there. Just deceiving changes of pace in the way that Parnaby does that. Absolutely. I mean, and look, now a lot of this becomes management. I mean, the thing to, you know, if you're just tuning in at home, this is New South Wales' 3rd game of the day.
And 3rd game in a short time. They started at 10 a.m. and it's a little after 6 here. What is it, 6?
They haven't even got the late on that, so they played a doubleheader straight up. Had to have a short break.
3 games of softball in 9 hours.
Yeah. Good eye for your zone there, Casey.
Well, a couple strikeouts, or a couple strikes here on Casey Smith. Kaya Parnaby, University of Hawaii alum, trying to dial it in and get strikeout number 8 and match her total from game number 1. Never in doubt, Kaya Parnaby, 8 on the day. She is well and truly rolling.
Yeah, wow. Unlucky on that second strike. So, Smith. But, look, this is great experience, you know, when you're up against these types of teams here. So, but yeah, obviously now it's need to start forward thinking about things. You know, obviously you've got to manage what your pitching staff are going to be like, and as you said before in the startup, Eric, and it's so important. You know, who is going to be that 9 that's going to take the field when the games matter at the end. So you'd assume that, you know, the Stars would continue to build at home here. So great support and confidence for that group as well. Queensland today, you know, started slowly, but, you know, their bats definitely lit up in their next game as well. So actually looking forward to SAWA tonight, that game at 8 p.m. on Diamond 1. So
it's a big game because it probably means, you know, if WA can win that one, then you'd have 3 teams at 3-2. To be honest, I think, you know, teams like Victoria would be cheering for SA in that game, just saying, hey, keep WA close to the pack. But it's going to be a very interesting game. Yep.
Still got hot dogs at Red Stars Cafe tonight, and tomorrow we move into Bakery Day. So so it's Aussie pies and pasties tomorrow. It's in the CAF.
I know where I'll be.
Yeah, so come down and see us there. Shout out to the staff down there, to my son Ryan, who's made 4,000 toasties.
Isabel Hannah up to bat right now.
No, that's producer Brandon just catching me up on the fact that I haven't organised his vegan hot dog yet, so that's okay. Night's not over yet, producer Brandon.
New South Wales scored all 5 of their runs in the second inning today. It's a shame because Victoria's done a good job of limiting New South Wales. Other than that one inning, they've had the bases loaded at one point. It's been a fairly competitive game.
Well, the funny thing you say, oh, great
Ball
shot.
hit over
Great
towards
shot.
short. It was always going to be difficult to field, and Isabel Hanna continuing her fine tournament. She's aboard with a hit that just gets through shortstop.
I'll tell you what, Rachel Lackey is one of the best bat girls you've ever seen in the history of the sport. She is fast. I'll tell you what, Beck Schaefer, I mean, she's not going to need to do any ground fielding for some time. She's getting a workout there in that 6-5 hole there. Back to the top of the lineups with McManus. But I was just going to say, Victoria are about to come back through the heart of their lineup, because even though we've just gone through Steamers and Mercury, if you look at, it's the young ones at the bottom that have
They've got the hits, yeah. Brody Hendy, Caitlin Caldwell.
So to be
good pieces on the ball.
So that'll be the test coming up. See if they can reproduce. So.
But it's the tough part of the lineup here for New South Wales. Stacey McManus, Stacey Porter, Bree Trim, the next 3 up, and they've already got a runner on first. They're looking for that getaway. Inning 5 still gettable in a normal game, but you feel like Victoria just a crucial hold here in the top of the 4th.
Yeah, so this is, like, I mean, Coach Rick, this is definitely, we've got to make sure that 5 stays 5 and, you know, give ourselves a chance to, you know, engineer that first one.
McManus on the ground, a nice grab from Laird, looking for 2.
Right,
they get the
play.
lead runner. Caitlin Laird, quick to turn and fire, gets the lead runner.
Beck Schaefer, what a pickup, you know. So Laird, good reflex play. She turns around, she can see that the play's happening there. It's going to be a force, so doesn't need to be a tag. Throw goes low, but Schaefer does a great pickup on the backhand there with the runner sliding in behind her. So courageous play by the shortstop for the Titans.
Big at bat here. Stacey Porter already had that single that she ended up standing on second base. She cleared the bases in that bases loaded moment in the getaway hit for New South Wales back in the second inning. And she just has that assuming presence. And she swings that one. It's lifted high in the air. It's going to be caught up in the wind. Now having to charge onto it. Paulina Galkina had to make a huge adjustment. That ball started left with center, moved back left, came back right, did the hokey pokey, moved itself around, and ended up in Paulina Galkina's glove.
You couldn't have said it any better. There's nothing more to say there on the Eastern replay. You've nailed it. And, yep, she's accelerated. She's slowed down. She's accelerated. And, yeah, wow.
Bree Trim.
Had a couple of heavy pieces of the ball here, Bree Trim.
Knocked up in the air into foul territory. That one's just going to get over and go.
Yeah, it's a great story, though, for her. And I mean, obviously, it's great to see her, you know, fulfilling, obviously, a long journey to get to the Open Women's team. So one of her goals wants to be the number one the number 1 radio host in Australia.
We got to get her on a broadcast.
We got to get her on the broadcast. So make that happen. You're the man. So,
well, Bree Trim, when you're watching this one back, we got to get you on the call.
Yeah.
Maybe one of the later games in the tournament if you're around and you want to watch and call some softball.
That's it. We're trying.
Get an injury for yourself. Call one of the New South Wales game. Just an old KP. I got a shoulder, just a little.
Yeah, but I'll be right for Friday.
I'll tell you, it should be an important piece on Friday, but Caitlin Laird gets a strikeout. How about Victoria? They hold them scoreless with some nice pitching from Bonner in the first. Errors didn't help them in the second, and then Porter made them pay to score their 5 runs in the second. But Caitlin Laird now has 2 strikeouts on the day. There hasn't really been too much hard hit off of her. Since Caitlin Laird's come in, she's really neutralized a tricky New South Wales lineup. Yeah,
as I said, she's got probably an extra yard on Bonner as far as pace goes. Not that that would be sort of any great concern to the Fire Stars in that regard, but they have, like, you've noticed that there's been a definite change there that's worked in that regard, and it's important, you know, keeping them at 5. Now they get another opportunity, and they have to just keep chipping away. The problem is, now we're in the halfway point of the game. It's, you know, middle 4. You've got to find a way. But now, as you alluded to before, I mean, this is just the game that I've been looking forward to all day, because it played out this way. I got to see Kaya Parnaby live, and now I'm going to get to see Gabby playing live, and this is just awesome. As there's obviously been a change in the circle.
Yeah, Kaya Parnaby is going to finish off the day with a very tidy stat line. She does allow a couple hits. There was the one error, or a couple errors that loaded the bases in the second, but she got out of that jam with a 3-pitch strikeout. 8 strikeouts on the day in those 3 innings. That's an impressive performance, you would say, maybe?
And yet, you know, we talked about the funny, you know, like the player with a pickup here, just when she was trying to field the ball. Baker makes a good play here, but then it spills right at the end, you know, so a good shot by Hendy, you know, the second base player, and they did load up at one stage, but yet Parnaby completely dominant. So
Gabby Plain's still a young player in her own right, but she is a 2-time first-team All-American with the Washington Huskies. She was part of the Pac-12, and the Huskies made it to the College World Series, and they said, hey, you get the game ball game number 1. Yeah. Here you go.
Yeah,
Plain train, full steam ahead.
Yeah, like big, obviously massive fan. As I said, highlight of the tournament so far is that she was kind enough to take a photo with my my 12-year-old daughter, which is pretty special. She loved meeting her, and yeah, no, just a ripper person. But yeah, you look at her sheet; she's got her own Wikipedia page.
Yeah, that's cool. I don't
you know
even have
what?
one.
You know what? Because there's so much stuff to go in there. You just go. The scout report on her is pages long, and this is going to be awesome. Beck Schaefer, big job ahead.
Well, it doesn't get any easier. They finally got Kaya Parnaby out of the game, but now this is the 5th pitcher that New South Wales have used on the day. They started the day using Kendra Lamb and Chantel Ladner in that first game, and then Ladner got the start in the second game, and as the game blew out, they brought in Grace Rickson to pitch the last couple innings, and she pitched 2 very clean shutout innings. It's a complete team effort, this pitching staff, which has held the opposition scoreless.
Beck Schaefer had a great last at bat. I mean, she ended up striking out to Parnaby. You know, she showed great discipline at the top of her zone, and you can just see Plain already just asking the same question of her, and she stayed off it.
This is now the 26th defensive inning for New South Wales in this tournament. And Gabby Plain, cool as you like, 1 down. Everyone just kind of smiled. I think everyone knows how casual that was.
Yeah.
Brody Hendy, though, had a hit, and it was a good piece of hitting up the middle versus Kaya Parnaby. She saw the ball really well in her first at-bat.
Imagine that. Hendy can go, can she get 2 hits? 2 hits for the game. So how'd you go at the ballpark tonight? Yeah, got a hit off of Parnaby, got a hit off of Plain. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, going to bed happy.
Here, can you just grab me a lotto ticket? So. Yeah.
First pitch strike, though, and that's what New South Wales have done so well all game long. We noted that on the commentary the last game. It was when Grace Rickson was pitching, all but 1 batter. She faced 6 in the game, all but 1 batter. She was ahead 0-2 in the count. I mean, when you can throw that first pitch strike, it just opens up so many possibilities for you. And it was the same with Kaya Parnaby in this game and in her first start.
Yeah, it's just amazing. Hendy, though, doesn't look phased at the plate, which is awesome. No. She's taken it up to her, so, and that's what you want to see from the young Australian talent, especially that in the Victorian Titans lineup.
Hendy takes a pitch up high that almost slipped away.
See that kick far out.
It's like it hit something and just decided to go a complete other direction. Gabby Plain, this is her rookie tournament. Wow. Bree Trim calling for it over at third. It's a 2-2 count, though. That's some nerves from Brody Steele, or Brody Steele, Brody Hendy. May as well call her Brody Steele with the kind of nerves she's got. 2-2 count. Hendy already hit today.
Oh, wow.
Called strike. It just cut at that last second. Hugs the corner, and there's not much Hendy can do. It's 2 up, 2 down for Gabby Plain. Kate Caldwell up to bat. She reached on an error. Caldwell from New South Wales versus her home state in her new state.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just watching the game, man. So it's awesome.
Oh, it's all good. I think everybody's watching Gabby playing right now.
Yeah, she's just recently moved down into Melbourne.
Get some contact on it, but Stacey Porter's not going to have much difficult with that. Right into the breadbasket, steps on first base. 1, 2, 3 inning for Gabby playing. You like what you saw?
Yes.
Yeah, all good.
Yeah. Just to see that stuff live, it's awesome. So, hey, I mean, obviously they're going to be around the mark on Friday. So, listen, I know it's the first week of the school holidays, but if you're a young softballer, tell mum and dad, take the day off work, do what you need to do. But while we've got some of the world's elite pitchers here playing in the Gilley Shield, come down and see it live because it'll blow your mind how awesome it is to see. So,
well, it'll be Montana Cairns, Maddie Baker, and Chantel Ladner, unless there's any changes that could maybe happen as you get to the later part of the game. Although I think a lot of the changes were made at the start of this game to get a good look at this depth of New South Wales. Porter will want a whole body of work and evaluation to figure out what that perfect lineup is, as now you've played everybody once. What adjustments do you make?
Yeah, absolutely. And, game management, player management becomes important, as we talked about with New South Wales having, this is their third game of the day, Victoria, the game is just super important to them. They just, to be 1-4 at the end of the first round, it's a tough way back in the second.
Montana Cairns up to bat. She's grounded out twice to the shortstop. Like you said, it's been busy for Beck Schaefer over at that hole in between third and second. And again, this time the opposite side, makes the adjustment, goes up the middle. Wagga Wagga goes wild. It's a base hit for Montana Cairns.
Yeah, it's quality batting. Just quality. You would suggest that if it wasn't for the fact of the schedule, I mean, whilst Ladd's doing a great job here, I mean, exposing her to the lineup multiple times, whether there's an opportunity to maybe go to Martin, or go back to Bono, but she has done a good job.
Maddie Baker, 20 years old, slips away. It's going to be a runner in scoring position for the Fire Stars. Baker, then Ladner, and Arnott are the next three up. And this is the part of the lineup that scored some runs. 5, 6, 7, and 8. Scored 4 of the runs for the Fire Stars. Those came in the second inning. All 5 of New South Wales runs have been there. Kaya Parnaby, 8 strikeouts in her start. A 1-2-3 inning for Gabby Plain. Although Victoria did have the bases loaded in the third, they left them stranded. That's where we are right now here in the top of the 5th. New South Wales looking to add a couple and get to that run rule territory. Just like they've done every single game they've played. Well, that ball slips away on the walk, so Baker goes to first, Cairns over to third, and Chantel Ladner, who's had a really nice day at the plate, has a chance to put a dagger into Victoria here.
Yeah, Riley Arnott on deck, so
no easy outs here in this New South lineup, and Ladner was looking for it right there. Again, you don't need to put it too far in the air, just hard into the gap or the outfield will get the job done.
Well, the amount of balls that we saw tailing that got hit to left field and tailed over, probably robbed the Titans of 5 or 6 hits earlier today. And so,
pitch down low. Fun day here at the ballpark. 2 more games to go, wire to wire. You can come here for 12 hours of softball action here at Diamond Sports. Beautiful Ghana land. Ball up the middle. Schaefer scoops for 1, trying to turn 2, and it just slips away. A run will score. Victoria oh so close to grabbing a double play.
We'll see here on the Eastern replay. So ball hit up the middle. Schaefer gets across, waits for a second base to get in, and the throw just low and away. And Steamers unfortunately just having to work overtime just to make that happen. So opportunity lost, but good play on the lead out there.
Just the first run that Caitlin Laird has allowed on the day. She's now working into her 3rd inning. Arnott takes the pitch. Caitlin Laird had an outstanding under-23 tournament. You talked to Coach Rigg before, and he really said that if you want to talk about a rising star nominee, you can put Caitlin Laird's name in the bucket right away. She's already batting leadoff for this team. She's pitched some valuable innings. Just getting more confident as her game keeps continuing to grow.
Well, we saw right from the outset, game 1, a bit of a plan.
Knocked to right field, doesn't stay fair. It doesn't, it goes foul.
Arnott sees the changeup, sets her hands back and punches it out right, and the wind just takes it away down over the first base line. That's been their plan since the start. Obviously, Laird was the flex and protecting the other pitchers in Bonner and Martin, and then obviously would come into the game to act as their relievers whilst batting the entire time. So, which is, I mean, it's been great watching all the way that the teams have used their flex. WA, the amount of changes WA were making was just spinning your mind. It was great to see the aggressive ball play.
Ball put into play. Schaefer charges on, scoops up 1, gets the ball to first, it slips away. Runner now dashing to home. That's going to be the 7th run of the game. Another defensive miscue from Victoria. They've just been that little bit most of the tournament, and now it's a 7-0 lead as Alyssa Miles will come to the plate.
I think Kylie Steamers is just going to say to her infield, hey, listen, I'm a tall, athletic girl.
Put it in the air.
But you guys have got to hit me on the chest. You're making this super hard. That's probably the 3rd or 4th play that she's had to work down there.
It's probably easier for Steamers to go up than it is to go down.
Yeah, but Beck Schaefer, I mean, again, that's the pressure of having a runner rounding the bases. You're attacking the ball. She's doing that all on the run. It was great fielding by Beck Schaefer. It's just that the throw just came out that little bit late.
Love the energy and the smiles from Caitlin Laird out in the now first pitch swing. Miles has seen the ball so well in this game. It was a nice play over at second base to get her out last time, but she does have a single and scored. 7-0 lead, which means that if they can get 3 outs in the bottom of the 5th New South Wales, it will be another Mercy Rule win in the completion of the first time through the teams. A 5-0 record. And yet to allow a run in 5 games played. Is that good?
It's very good. That's very good. At this level, it's better than good. It's outstanding.
Outscored opponents 42-0 right now.
So excited to see what happens tomorrow. Just the way that teams approach them the second time round. Obviously, the movement of the ladder becomes important. Managing your players. The weather's going to be like this till Thursday.
Oh, and it's interesting. You know, South Australia play New South Wales first off the dock tomorrow, and I mean, there's a long way to go. I mean, South Australia, how they approach that game probably depends on how the game goes against WA tonight. Yep. If South Australia win that game and they're sitting at 4-1, they've got a little bit of a margin to error to play with, so you can probably attack New South Wales with your best and say, hey, you know what, let's try to beat you and hope you fall out. Maybe we go to 1-2. However, if SA lose the game tonight and are sitting at 3-2, you imagine that they're going to save their bullets for later in the day on a triple header day for SA.
Yeah, it's a big game tonight. I mean, WA, unknown quantity and have been a surprise packet in that regard. They've had a big day. It'll be their third game. So it's going to be a tough ask for the Flames, but sometimes that adversity brings out the best.
Oh, that's what I'm looking forward to that one. I'll tell you what, though, I've had a big couple days. I'm looking forward to going home, grabbing a pop from the fridge, sitting on the couch, and watching the action unfold that Spacequake Sports is bringing you at the 8 p.m. game tonight. Sorry about that.
James Harris, Kylie Weatherstone on the mic tonight.
Knocked over towards right field. That falls in for a base hit. A right side hit for Alyssa Miles again. Runner held up at third, so Arnott will stay there. And it's runners on the corners. And there's still yet to be, there's only just the one out so far in this inning. But 2 hits to the right side for Alyssa Miles.
And here comes Coach Riggs.
Well, Isabel Hanna up to bat, and then you know it turns back over to Stacey McManus and Stacey Porter.
That's a tough one, too, to come back to.
New South Wales not smashing the ball like they were versus WA, but they're getting in the right spot and taking advantage of defensive miscues.
Now, and thank you for saying that, because what I wanted to say there was big shout out to Casey Smith behind the plate. She's doing an amazing job there in calling against, a fairly impressive hitting lineup. And, she's getting the best out of Bonner. She's got getting the best out of Laird. And I think for somebody of her age calling a game at this level, I think she's been outstanding. So the mix has been great. So hats off to her, and fingers crossed that they can sort of get an opportunity to get back in there and bat and try and put a run on and take this game a bit further. So, but this is good coaching by Coach Riggs here. You've got runners in those corners here. It's that time of the game where it's late. You're down by 7. It's a long day. Now it's the time where you've got to be tuned in and you've got to be at your best.
Isabel Hanna, she's had another nice game.
And that's what Coach Porter wants to see. She wants to see these young players put some pressure on those senior rookies. So
trying to catch the runner off the bag. That ball slips away, and now a runner trying to dash for home. There'll be a play at the plate, and she gets in safely. Runner squeezes to third. Miles to third. Arnott scores. 8-0 Fire Stars.
How fast was Miles around the base path? Whilst this was all happening here, she'd already rounded. If you see here on the Eastern replay, the ball comes loose. So Miles at this point's already round coming up, and she's already past second. And that's great pressure, great heads-up base running.
Now another cracking shot from Isabel Hanna. It makes it 9-0, and if New South Wales were looking for more production from the bottom of their lineup, Arnott's been on twice and scored. Miles has got 2 hits and scored twice, and Isabel Hanna has 2 hits.
You just see there on the Eastern replay the defensive shift that Victoria made. So their left fielder is 30 feet.
McManus now, in field, and just can't quite make the play at first. 2 runners on. Sorry about that. Weather, continue.
I was just going to say the Eastern replay shows that the left fielder against Hannah was 30 feet behind the shortstop.
Well, another run is scored, so I think it's now 9-0.
That's happened very quickly. Some aggressive,
9-0.
Some very aggressive fast base running.
First pitch swing right off of Laird. She'll turn, she'll fire. She gets Porter just in time. Great reaction from the youngster in the mound.
Well, that came back to her at a rate of knots, and that's a great reflex play by Caitlin, as New South Wales have definitely upped the ante here. You see just, oh my God, how hard did she hit the ball? Wow.
So Bree Trim, the 9th batter to come to plate in this 4-run inning. 5 in the second, 4 in the 5th, and now they're just swinging on the first pitch.
I was about to say, and she's been aggressive in the count, and good job by Smith there to take the ball out of the strike zone and see if she can pick up a cheap strike. Trim good enough to stay off it.
Well, 8 of the 9 runs have come from the 5 to 9 batters between Baker, Ladner, Arnott, Miles, and Hannah.
She gets right underneath that. That's not going to be an easy catch for Hendy, but she's taken it.
So I was just about to say that if Porter wanted to take a look at what that depth is to try to make some decisions, I don't know if it got any easier. Like, nobody kind of ruled themselves out of the equation, if that makes sense.
No. No, when Coach Porter returns to the hotel tonight, that's going to be more questions than answers that she's probably got. So
New South Wales just 3 outs away from ending this game and heading into the break, winning their triple-header day, sitting at 5-0. And almost impossible for them to miss the top 4 now. I don't know what the mathematical equation is, but it might actually be mathematically impossible, knowing, ACT and Vic have to play each other, so teams have to beat each other to get there.
I think somebody's got to score against them first.
Somebody does, yeah, before we talk about them losing the game. Can someone just get a run? Hey, but you know what? We did see history in this tournament today. Victoria got a runner to third base versus New South Wales. That's the furthest anyone's gone in this tournament. So good on Victoria.
And see how quickly that unraveled there, at 5-0, and just a little bit of pressure.
Well, they've turned on the big innings quickly, so I think that's got to be step number 1. Don't allow too many runs, because you're not going to score a lot of runs if you want to beat them. But 2, if you want to stay in the game, you can't allow a big inning. You need to play almost perfect, to be honest.
Well, they've done some good things, the Titans, offensively. They've had some really tough at-bats. I mean, McCurry's been great with her fighting at-bat. There's been some hits from some of the younger players down the line. But when the basics have come up and some of those throws have just hurt them, they've just made the job harder for themselves. So
Sarah Beals up to bat. Makes a first pitch strike, and a sort of repeat of earlier message if you're Mr. Lee Hull watching. It's been first pitch strikes, not all game long, all tournament long for this New South Wales Fire Stars team. They need 3 runs to continue the game, Victoria. Pop straight up in the air. That's going to go back foul now on the 0-2 hole. This is the 8, 9, and 1 batters in the lineup that will come up for the Titans.
Make sure you can get down to the ballpark and watch these pitchers pitch. Just the ball rotation that she has got on that is just insane. Sorry, I'm fanboying here. I apologize.
I think a lot of people on the stream are fanboying and fangirling and fan-dogging if you're a puppy dog watching.
That ball's sitting above her knees and coming to the plate. It's broke just before it's got there, so far down that she's just amazing skills being on display by these women here. Just outstanding.
Smash down the left field line. It just goes foul. Sarah Beals.
She punched that into the wind too, and for a moment I didn't think that was actually going to tail. It tailed late.
That was smashed.
Yeah. Ball got set up and she just threw her hands and went bang at it. Good timing.
Gabby playing with a 1-2-3 inning in the 4th. Hit hard at the middle. That's right off of plane. Picked up by McManus across the top.
No way.
Are you kidding me?
No.
1-6-3. No way.
And you see here on the Eastern replay, first of all, Beals has hit that like a freight train. Plane has had to react just to basically stop from getting hit by the ball, and then McManus has got...
Well, McManus had to move to her right. She almost, look at how she scooped this up. That's just a great shortstop play on what ended up being a slow roller.
So Plains turned into that, so it's hit her up on the...
McManus goes one way.
Yep, and then she's got to come back.
Backhand it.
Yep. And then she's got to make the throw.
Turn, weight transfer, throw, zip it across the diamond, and make the play.
If there's a better play at the tournament so far, I haven't seen it. That is outstanding.
Well, producer Brandon was probably wondering what clip he had to cut up for the highlight reel. He just found it.
Just tag that one.
CC awesome. Stacey McManus. It's a joke. That was like, you can't be serious. Paulina Galkina.
So, Plains obviously okay. I mean, that ball came back at her at a, like, that ball was smashed and it's come back and hit her. Looked like it was high on the thigh. She turned into it. So, would suggest that that's going to leave a bruise.
Unbelievable.
Porter comes down shallow, takes it away, and now Victoria just a single out away from this game being unfortunately put into run territory.
I mean, don't feel bad because every game has ended with that with New South Wales.
Yeah, defensive shift there. They crowded her at the plate. Back to the top of the lineup. Laird struggled against Parnaby. Now she gets to go up against Plain.
Caitlin Laird. Takes a pitch up hot. I'm running out of things to say about New South Wales because they've just done everything perfectly. They did that 12-0 game earlier in the day versus WA when they started off that huge inning they had. And, you know, they had a single, they had a perfectly placed bunt, a double, a triple, a home run. They literally had a hit in every way you can do it. They scored 8 runs by smashing the ball out of the park. Taylor Titsakronis came up to bat with a single, a triple, and a home run to her name, and all she needed was a double for the cycle. And she got greedy and decided to hit another home run.
She's a rock star.
I'm so upset. I'm actually angry at Taylor Titsakronis. Like, I physically felt mad that she hit it out of the park. Put straight up in the air. New South Wales going to try to make a play on it. Moving over is Trim, and it just gets kept up in the wind.
Did Trim read and pick that up?
She was right there. That ball just started to angle away, made it a tricky play.
Yeah, I'm the same. I've got 7 pages of notes that I was going to talk about the 5 stars, and I can't. I'm just too busy watching. I apologise. Maybe I should be sitting in the crowd and get somebody better.
Get some popcorn.
Yes.
So you should get at the cafe. Get the popcorn machine from the Giants and sell some popcorn.
Yeah, absolutely. Might have to.
I know a guy.
You know a guy. All right. Well, maybe my guy might have to talk to your guy, and we can see what we can do about that.
Get some popcorn rolling. Popcorn Thursday.
Oh, popcorn Thursday. I'll tell you what. Popcorn Friday, because I reckon that's when people are going to be here, because that's when the best on show are going to be.
Yeah, that's when all the hardware is dished out. Caitlin Laird, strikeout to end the game, and it is fitting just because it was a dominant pitching display. First from Parnaby, then from Plain. 10 strikeouts as a team, 8 from Parnaby in her 4 innings of work. And New South Wales use a big 2nd inning and a big 5th inning to win this one 9-0.
Yeah, super impressive. That's just humbled to watch that. But, you know, same stage, hats off to the Titans. You know, a lot of things as has happened so far in this tournament didn't go their way, but I just love the fight. They just kept pushing. They put some base runners into some situations, some great shots against some quality pitching. So Titans, I mean, scoreline's not going to say it, but there's some definitely positives that they can take out of that as they get into the 2nd round. I think they're going to do some damage.
Appreciate everybody tuning in from around the country. We appreciate you joining us and watching some great softball with us. There's 2 more great games tonight. You can get the dual screen going, or 1 game tonight to
just
finish the rounds on May 9th.
We want you all focused on the SAWA matchup.
Got ahead of myself. So SAWA on the back diamond to complete the first of the minor rounds. Tune in for that. On behalf of Anthony Weatherstone, producer Brandon, the whole Space Quake Sports crew, we'll see you then.